Well, hello there guys, it's Kid Bombing here, and thank you so much for joining me on this brand new video. I'm so glad you enjoyed watching my previous videos so far. Like I did read aloud videos, so first of all, I'll go and do another read aloud video for you guys for storing time together as we learn and listen. So hereby, I've got a storybook I can show you. It's going to be Disney. I have got Walt Disney's The Penguin Who Hated the Cold. It was published by Disney's Wonderful World of Reading, and also published by Grolier Book Club Edition. So I have some of you never heard of this story before, but perhaps I will have a go read this book for you guys. What I tend to do, I got to read this book by words, and also shows some interesting illustration. Are you sure you want to join me? Fantastic. Shall I begin? Our story takes us way down to the South Pole. It's always winter there. The land is full of ice and snow. It's also full of penguins. Most penguins love the cold. They like to go skiing and swimming and skating, and they love to play in the snow at the beach. But there was one penguin who hated the cold. The penguin name was Pablo never played in the ice and snow. Instead, Pablo stayed inside his igloo close to his hot stove. He kept his flippers and his feathers warm, but he never felt warm enough. Pablo was always dreaming about warm places, so one day he decided to go to the place where it would be hot all the time. Pablo put his snowshoes and started to walk up the hill. All of the other penguins came out to wish him well. Pablo turned to wave goodbye. But as Pablo waved, he froze in place. Pablo tumbled down the hill. He rolled over and over till he became a giant snowball. Crash! Pablo bowled over his friends and rolled back into his igloo. Pablo wouldn't give up. I won't freeze if I bring my stove with me, he thought. So the little penguin put on his skis and packed his stove on his back. He started up the hill again. Once more, he turned to wave goodbye. Once more, the other penguins wished Pablo a safe trip, but they wish came too late. The heavy stove pulled Pablo backward. Down the hill, Pablo went faster and faster. He whisked straight towards some cliffs. Suddenly, Pablo was hanging upside down. His skis had caught on the icy cliffs, and he was frozen stiff again. The other penguins shook their heads. Two of them took Pablo home to his igloo and folded him out in his bathtub. Pablo still wouldn't give up. He kept dreaming of a sunny island. The air would be warm. The sand would be warm. Even the water would be warm. The thought of the warm water gave Igor an idea. The little penguin got out all his hot water bottles. He filled them with hot water. Then he put the water bottle on his feet and under his coat and around his neck. He turned to wave goodbye. Pablo was sure that nothing would go wrong this time. But something did. When Pablo stopped to look at his map, the hot water bottles melted the snow. Then they melted the ice. Pablo began to sink. He sank down into the icy water. When the other penguins pulled him out, Pablo was frozen in the block of ice. Once again, they carried Pablo back to his igloo to thaw out. But Pablo still wouldn't give up. By the time the hot stove melted the ice around him, he had another idea. He would sail to the warm island. The next morning, Pablo got a saw. He cut a boat out of the ice under the igloo. Then he put up a mast and a sail. His boat was ready to go. Pablo took a deep breath and waved goodbye. Then he sailed away. Pablo sailed for days and days. He kept looking for sunny islands, but he saw were icebergs. Pablo sailed from the South Pole to the tip of South America. He checked his map. There was a line on a map called Equator. Once he crossed that line, he would find a land of his dreams. The little penguin sailed on and on. Pablo looked at the land. He saw a pretty town, but the fog became so thick. Pablo had to cut it with a knife. I must be near the equator, Pablo thought. Bing, bong. His boat sailed right into the equator, then bounced back. The line stretched all the way to the left. It stretched all the way to the right. Crossing the equator would not be easy. Pablo checked his map again. He couldn't sail around the equator. He would need some help, but he could help him cross the equator. Pablo looked up. He was surprised to see the answer right next to him. It was Neptune, the king of the seas. The king lifted up the equator gratefully. Pablo waved his thanks as he sailed underneath the line. But once he had crossed the equator, Pablo had another problem. His boat was made of ice, and he was melting in the warm sun. Once his boat and his igloo had melted, Pablo jumped into his bathtub, but his bathtub sprang leak. Would Pablo sink? Of course not. The clever penguin put his shower pipe into a hole. The water began to spray out of the shower. Suddenly, the tub started to pick up the speed. Pablo was heading for the sunny island. Pablo landed on a warm beach. He picked a nice banana to eat. It was bright as yellow as the sun above. Pablo had found the land of his dreams. The end. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the story of Pablo the Penguin who hated the cold in South Pole. It was by Disney. One of them reading. That's quite an interesting story to learn and listen. So, since last year, because the Walt Disney Company has turned 100 upon the magical moments of animation studios by sharing our favourite characters and films and television series. So, okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and so always remember to subscribe to my channel by hitting notification not to miss out visual contents. That's really important. And to look at my social links as well, just below the video description below the screen. You can find me on Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok and Instagram. You can support my additional content as well as. Okay guys, so please stay tuned for another future content, and thank you very much, and I'll see you again so soon.